Hey guys, Heavy Arms 45 here. Recently I messed up. I plan on normally doing a video a week for y'all, have it out on Monday or Tuesday, but I was caught slipping. I haven't did one in about a week, so I'm a week behind. So this week, to finish up January, I'm going to do 2 videos and I'm gonna send them out to y'all as soon as possible, to help appease my inner mind, because I know I'm not having a lot of followers right now, but it's at least, you gotta be professional when you're doing stuff. So that's what I'm gonna try and do. But what I want to talk about is characters that were in the DC universe that are no longer talked about. Some of them going, and I'm gonna go through 2 different ones. On this video, I'm gonna talk about the Super Friends, which you might have seen a couple of Super Friends once you get into watching stuff like on Adult Swim, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. But there are some of them that we kind of like left by the wayside. But when you watch Super Friends, you have all the regular Justice League members. You have John Jones, you have Cyborg, you have Wonder Woman, you have Superman, Batman, The Flash. I think I've said Green Lantern. But everybody has their own sidekick. Superman had Superboy, then you had Robin, of course, Aqualad, Wonder Girl, Speedy. It was during a time where they were trying to get kids to see that, hey, there's somebody that you can aspire to be too. You don't have to wait to be an adult to be a superhero. You could be one of these younger superheroes, which from that point we also get stuff dealing with the Teen Titans also. But this was during the whole Hanna-Barbera age of comics. And I mean, not comics, cartoons. And during that time, though, there were some international Justice League members that we don't really hear much about anymore. Like Apache Chief. His ability was to grow large. And while growing large, he was able to fight crime, help with certain situations. And I guess in a way, if we looked at today, it's sort of redundant because you have the Atom, who the Atom is able to go both big and small. So his character basically do what Apache Chief can do without any special phrase and using technology. Then you might have seen them once on Teen Titans Go, the Wonder Twins. The Wonder Twins, they were a sister and brother duo that basically they put their rings together and they said one twin powers activate, and their power was to transform into different things. Like the sister could turn into any animal, and the brother could turn into anything that had to do with ice. He turned into other stuff, but for majority of the stuff, he always had something to do with water. A pail of water, an actual water puddle, or even a glacier or something like that. He always had something to do with water a lot of times. Yeah, that sounds funny now that I say that. Then we have the character El Dorado, which was their Latino character, who ability was he had illusion vision, where he could create illusions using his eyes. He had optic blast, the ability to teleport, and telepathy. And he helped them whenever they was down in Latin America deal with crimes. Then we have Rima, the jungle girl, and her ability was to communicate with animals. Useful power when you're in a jungle. You need somebody that basically, she would be considered the Aquaman of the land. So basically, she could speak to animals on Earth, which, if you look at Teen Titans, you have Beast Boy that could be able to do that. Granted, he actually turned to the actual animal and probably could have a conversation with them using his abilities. Then we have Samurai. Samurai was able to control the winds, which, again, talking about redundancy, that's basically like what Red Tornado could do. Red Tornado basically was able to create tornadoes using his body and things like that. So I can see how some of them could be considered redundant. And a lot of people say the reason that we don't hear much about these characters during the Hanna-Barbera age of cartoons was because they were racist. I saw comments of how El Dorado used broken English, and I've seen examples of El Dorado using broken English, they said, when he was speaking. And he would, like how we do with most Latino characters that we bring in, we give them like little one Spanish word at a time. Kind of like how we did Speedy Gonzalez. He'll speak English, then he'll start going, epa, 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 and that was basically his catchphrase. He would go, arriba, arriba, epa, epa, and he would run off. It's been a while. I used to see these shows back on Boomerang. I don't watch Boomerang anymore, but I know that you can still find videos of them, but they're not characters that have transitioned through the comic books or into the TV shows and stuff like that. They have kind of fallen by the wayside. Like the Wonder Twins are a good gag for sometimes, like when I said they were in Teen Titans Go, because people want to make fun of how the brother only turned into stuff dealing with water, and the sister was able to turn all these animals, which made her like Beast Boy, but she wasn't able to transform unless she was close to her brother, which was, I guess you would consider a weakness. That would be her and her brother's weakness, was that they had to be close to each other to be, touch rings to be able to use their powers, which most people, if they know that's your ability, is not gonna let y'all get that close to each other to be able to use that ability. So that put them a lot of times at a disadvantage because no one's gonna let you do it. Samurai, no one can stop you from being able to control the wind, and no one can stop. But that's kind of like when we talk about up-to-date Shazam. Up-to-date Shazam, if you know that he's just Billy Madison, 13-year-old kid, and all I need to do is stop him from saying Shazam, like Superman has done in a couple of the animated shows, that's what you're going to do. If you know that a person's weakness, you don't go ahead and take advantage of it. That's why everybody somehow is able to find on the black market kryptonite, which is supposed to be a rare item. But still, Lex had, maybe Lex got wholesale of it, but somehow a planet that was destroyed light years away was able to make it to Earth, and that's where we created his weakness. But when you know a person's weakness, that's what you don't take advantage of. There's no way of taking advantage of Apache Chief ability to grow and be. His quick word, Oni-chan, and that was it. But there's not really proof that was that was the command he had to say to make himself grow. Samurai could control that. And looking at this, there is another character, but looking at my list also, there's a character that I didn't overlook him, but I didn't say him because he's kind of transitioned with the times as things went on, and that's Black Vulcan. From what somebody told me at one point, Black Vulcan used to be. I mean, Black Vulcan was the first name that they gave to Black Lightning. So Black Vulcan, who was a man who could control electricity, has become Black Lightning, which is a TV show right now on the CW. But he was a member of the Justice Friends too. So you had, even though you could say that some of the characters were racist in tone, I haven't seen them. If you've seen them and you want to give a comment about, it's cool. But because they were race, even though they're racist tone, they tried to give somewhat of a diverse cast, especially when you look at a lot of the heroes that's in the main cast were basically white. You had, like I said, Aquaman, Wonder Woman. The only person that was not inherently a white character was John Jones. But I believe back during that time, he transformed into a white detective. So, and, I'm getting into Black History Month. But it was a majority. But with these characters, you had diversity. And really, when you look at it, diversity was starting to get really big. Looking at like stuff like Star Trek, where you had characters who were supposed to be from Russia, African American, Asian backgrounds. You had all these different people on this show who were being different, diverse. It wasn't just a bunch of Americans went to space and tried to push their beliefs on people. It was a whole, like how America's supposed to be, a great melting pot of people coming together to in the singular goal of seeing what's in space, the final frontier. In this same way, you had these group of Justice League, Super Friends, who came together to try and defend the common good for people. And you might not agree with how they were portrayed, but I will say that was one of our first things of how diversity was done back when Super Friends were going on. Well, I'm going to end this one here because I'm going to start getting into the other one if I do. So I'll catch you on the next one.